He's a brick.
Old Crow.
Do you know anything about Old Crow, Vince?
Absolutely, I know about Old Crow.
Can you perhaps let us know, give us a little backstory on the...
James Crow, Dr. James Crow. You see how he says it?
Right. Dr. Jimmy C, did they call him?
Oh, there's even a little story there that you got to read.
Look at that.
Yeah, Dr. James Crow. He's from Scotland. He was a doctor and a chemist. Come over here, moved to Kentucky, and
yada yada yada. Long story short,
yeah, he was a smart man, and he took the art of making whiskey and made it into a science.
Oh.
Made the mash bill. I don't know what this is. This is obviously 51% corn because it is a bourbon, and this is aged 3 years, man. This is real stuff, man.
All right, then.
This is bourbon. There's nothing wrong with this stuff. This is mostly used for mixers, but so is Jim Beam and Jack Daniels. I mean, all that stuff.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, I mean, so he's basically credited with coming up with the modern bourbon.
All right, so we got the grandfather of bourbons here. It's $9.99 a bottle. Liking that. What are we smoking today?
All right, Brickhouse Maduro.
He's a brick. Brickhouse Maduro, Vincent.
Yeah. Brickhouse Maduro was 17th on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 in 2010.
It's got a little stink on it, Vince. And by stink, I mean that like straw.
Yeah, it's very savory. It's a bunch of, I get chocolate, just on the smell. I get chocolate.
Just good.
And the barnyard, the hay. Plus, it's just a straight tobacco.
Wow, you can smell the booze or the ethanol coming off of that drink.
This is made fast. And it's cold as hell.
A little chilly out here today.
Which makes you, that's all you do smell is alcohol. It's like that. Get oak. And
Honey.
I agree with that. Honey, corn syrup.
Yeah, there it is.
That's the fake Aunt Jemima type of maple syrup, or just regular old straight K-Row. Let's cut these bad boys up.
Is that what we're gonna do? What is that initial, I don't know, maybe it's the Zippo I'm picking up on. Leather?
You get leather.
Right?
And there's a sweetness. And a heavy tobacco. Very little pepper.
You might want to rethink that. And do
there's a little bit of pepper.
There's a little bit of pepper there.
But more like a cayenne pepper. It's not necessarily a black pepper. It's not that. I find it sweet.
I find it sweet.
It's a little bold.
It might go somewhere.
Now, when Brickhouse first came out, I remember trying them. I tried the Connecticut. I didn't like it. I've never had the Maduro, and the Maduro is the one that makes the list. It's getting a little heavy.
Right?
A little bit of nicotine in there.
Tickle. Oh, yeah. The tickle. The nicotine tingle. Got that chemical kind of twang to it. There is some kind of taste off of that Old Crow. I can't quite put a finger on it, but it is that artificial kind of sweet.
That aspartame thing.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's that comes from something. I've heard people talk about that. It's not as sweet as I remember.
No.
It's very cold, man. It is.
It's a little chilly down here today.
Yeah, it's very cold.
The arena.
I get that. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Because it's bourbon. I mean, it tastes like bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get that new makey out of it. It is 3 years old, probably.
Yeah. There's not much in the way of flavor to it. It's just it's a sweetness. $9.99 a bottle though. Ain't a bad
If
deal,
you're going to pour a Coke in it anyway.
right? If I'm looking at an afternoon watching the game, do a couple mixed drinks.
My cigar is having trouble with it.
You having trouble staying lit?
No.
You're not digging the smoke production without the prime?
It's very dense. And
Yeah, there is
it
a
has
bit of
a
a draw.
tremendous amount of smoke. It's just
Takes a
hard.
while to get there.
It's hard to pull. It's a very big cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the 60 ring gauge, but I'm not big on the big cigars too often either.
And I am getting a little bit of a coffee, a little bit of a chocolate.
I get a little bit of coffee, a
Right.
little bit of chocolate.
But very, very subtle, very faint.
It's an oily cigar. You know, like you could feel it.
Right.
And there is sustain. So, you know, whether you like it or don't like it, this cigar is in somebody's wheelhouse. You know, and I get it. We'll see how it develops. I mean, it's only been
34 seconds.
Yeah.
So, well, a little longer than that. But I agree. I'm not counting this out yet. An interesting start. I don't think it's going to be very complex, but we'll see.
It's got a little bit going on there.
I can tell you this, though. I don't see that Old Crow doing anything else but what it's doing right now. It is exactly what it is.
No, there's no doubt. There's
Right.
no doubt. But it's something that needs to be shown. And the only thing I really wanted to get out of this is to show you that a cheaper whiskey is fine. Especially if you're, you know, putting it on the rocks or putting it on, you know, a mixer. This would even be fine in a Manhattan, you know.
What is a Manhattan?
Manhattan is whiskey, sweet vermouth, cherry, Angostura bitters. I think that's it.
So almost like a old fashioned, but with a cherry.
Almost like a whiskey martini,
Oh.
actually. It's really
Never
supposed
had-
to be served up like in a martini glass,
Okay.
but a lot of people get it on the rocks. Like you can get martinis on the rocks also. I mean, a lot of times it's served in a rocks glass with the cherry. All right. So you're not going to drink this. What are you going to move to? Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, boy.
You don't even need
Don't even need no
no
ice.
ice on that, man. That's cold.
Ooh.
It's cold down here today. I'm going to go with you then.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, mate. You good?
Oh, I'll pour it out.
Yeah, that's going top shelf.
But it's a good thing to have. You know, and truthfully, if your boys are coming over and you know it's going to be
They
like,
heavy drinkers.
yeah,
And they don't appreciate the goodness in a bottle of like.
shots.
Oh, you got that wild turkey rare breed. Let's line up
No,
the shot. No,
you're
no,
not shooting
no,
a
no.
wild turkey rare.
No,
breed.
I got some
Perfect.
Old Crow. You want to throw down some shots of Old Crow? We can do that.
Nothing wrong with Old Crow, man. A little bit better.
Wow.
I can't smell nothing in this cold,
No,
man. We're
no.
not giving you.
Woo! Welcome home, Wiggle. Welcome home.
I love the Wiggles. Good. Man.
Mm.
A lot of. What did we get last time? I mean, I get a little.
Tree
sweetness.
fruit?
I don't get into fruit right now.
No, seriously? No, okay. I threw out tree fruit because it's become a funny little barb, but I'm honestly getting a citrus, fruity kind of note on it.
I think when we tried this, when I put it on ice, I think we got a citrus thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a clean, fresh.
Yep.
But I get a lot of that bitter oak
Ooh.
and like a caramel.
And it is. It's well, we're getting into the second third here, but Big hit of leather. Leather note really kind of opened up. I think it's probably the addition of the sweetness of the wiggle, but
Yeah, I understand, but it's still, it's not a happy, cool leather, man. You know?
is it a sad leather?
Yeah.
It's like its own little piece of leather laying in the corner, unused. It wanted to be a belt, and it just didn't have enough. And
It is a belt.
So
It's not a nice. It's not a cool. Like
it's not what the cool kids.
You know, it's not a. It's not like a cool like a motorcycle jacket or a fancy.
It don't have no fringe on it.
Yeah. It might have fringes on it actually. A suede.
A suede from Savannah. Yeah, sure. Sad leather notes.
They're just not big, deep, rich.
I can see that. Yeah,
and I definitely get a chocolate.
Yeah, it's not there. It's not like a take me on a little journey kind of tasting notes. It's like, oh, there it is.
And,
move on.
Yeah, and there's a coffee, not an espresso, a coffee like when your wife makes coffee. Like when I make the coffee, it's coffee. The wiggle makes it a much better experience.
Yeah, it's more about the wiggle.
Yeah, but I thought Old Crow, and Old Crow is an important brand. Old Crow is an important distillery in the history of American spirits.
Wiggle.
I just got cookies and cream on that wiggle and the brick house.
You just got a little hint of the blizzard.
Like literally, cookies and cream.
Oreos up in this piece.
I think it's became a little more interesting. I enjoy that that leather, and in the background, there's still a little bit of that chocolate, that cocoa.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of that coffee, that diluted like. Let me see. What's yours look like? It's continuing?
It did.
Yeah. It's just not. I mean, it's not a. It's not a Patron, man. It's not even a My Father. It's a
I don't care.
brick house.
This is like the first week in like, I don't know, like 2 months where I lost. So I'm not happy about it at all. What do you think of that, Paul?
I get a little now in the final third, it gets a little darker to me. I get almost a anise or a licorice on the top of the palate, up there
I can
by
see
the
that.
nose and the back of the top.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
I mean, the little darker,
that back
like
nasal.
Zambuca. Have you ever did a shot of Zambuca?
Sure. Who hasn't?
And that the flavor that lingers after the shot of Zambuca.
Mm-hmm.
Zambuca is wonderful, man.
Big chocolate.
Coming into the final third, it is getting a
Right.
little more interesting.
A little bit more savory, a little bit more deeper on the flavors. I'm getting more of a chocolate, more of a coffee. Well, Vince, we're coming down to the end here. The Brickhouse Maduro started with the Old Crow.
She's mighty, letting it all hang out. Hey, that the Crow, man. It's all right.
You know what?
Especially for a mixer.
Absolutely. To
Shots.
be quite honest with you, that's going on my shopping list. That's going to just kind of reinforce the cheap kind of whiskey and Coke drink.
If you want to do or tell that story about James Crow and how he basically invented the modern day bourbon, and then you pull that bottle out and send it around the fire, and then you look like a hero.
So if you are a first-time viewer here of Leaf of Spirits, Vince, what should they do if they want to make sure that they are kept in the loop with upcoming videos?
If you like this at all, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to subscribe, right there, see that circle? It says Leaf and Spirit. Tap that. Just tap that circle right there. It says Leaf and Spirit. You get it.
Thank you.
Thanks.